Greetings, friend. How are you doing today? I have a few questions for you today. Few questions. First question: have you ever known somebody who, when they are under pressure, they actually perform in a surprisingly well manner? Perhaps you yourself are that way. When you are under pressure, you can you can perform almost like in a superhuman state, beyond your typical expectation. Or perhaps you have heard stories about, say, a mother whose child in danger, in great danger, and then suddenly have this like superpower ability, and the mother can move car or protect the child in some way that's just kind of like superhuman. Have you ever heard something like that? The second question, have you ever hear people says nowadays that human only use 10% of our brain capacity. You and I only use 10% of our brain capacity. Many times, life success coach might have quote something like that. Do you know that that is not true? More recent studies nowadays shows using functional MRI that you and I actually use the majority of our brain almost all the time. Actually, even when we're sleeping, we have brain activities. So, can feel better there, right? And the final question I have for today: have you ever have a time where you would love something, and you would love to do that. You decide on doing that. Perhaps you were, as you and I shared yesterday, you were in this internal tug of war of something you love versus your common sense and your logic says how you're gonna do that, and you decided to follow your heart. But then you have no idea how you're gonna accomplish this, and what if you ever have a time you would love something and don't know how to do that, that the answers is actually in the first two questions that we just shared today, that you and I just discussed. Now, how so? How's the answer is in the first two questions that you and I just discussed today? So, the second one about the brain function. The study shows that our brain actually active, most of our brain has activity, and our brain even active when you are sleeping. What it does not say is our brain, your brain and my brain, is productively active most of the time. There is a difference between productive brain activity and just having brain activity, wouldn't that? It shows that your brains have activity when you are sleeping. Or are you productive when you are sleeping? Now, don't take me wrong. It's good to sleep. It's good to be able to rest and refresh and rejuvenate and all these things. But in terms of productivity, perhaps not particularly productive, except with an exceptions of allowing yourself to rest. And so your brain can be active, but not necessarily you having a productive brain activity. And the difference in that is actually something that can make things happen even if you don't know how. Kenny Loggins share in that 1 hour that I was able to listen to him, one of the other gold nugget that I gained from him was Kenny Loggins says that when you listen to your heart, he says, even if you don't know how, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So even if you don't know how you're going to accomplish what it is that you would love, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Now, for you, perhaps, and for many of us, might sound like, okay, well, that sounds a little esoteric or woo-woo, or we might say, oh, yeah, well, good for you. And, maybe that's why you are lucky and you are a multiple award-winning musicians, but not necessarily everybody. But what if the answer is part of the answer, at least part of the answer, is in what we just discussed. One is perhaps it is a matter of learning to direct your brain activity. So we all have brain activity all the time. and we use the majority of our brain. But imagine this. Now you have these things that you have decided. You have decided that you're going to listen to your heart and what it is that calls your heart instead of your logic that trying to pull you to the other way. And now, once you decide it, you have no idea how you're going to accomplish that. You can have a brain activity that that looks like, how are you gonna do that? Oh my God, what the heck were you thinking? Oh my goodness, aren't you gonna embarrass yourself if you tell this to other people and it doesn't happen? Oh my gosh, I mean, you know, what is your brother's gonna think? I mean, what is your neighbor and your dogs are going to think? I mean, what's the fish gonna think? And I mean, how are you gonna even do this? And isn't this gonna cost you something? I mean, is this gonna make you lose what you already have? Brain activity. Or perhaps you could direct it the other way. You said, okay, well, I love this, I decided for this, and then how about if I see what's the best possible outcome, and then from there you direct your brain activity intentionally to what's the best possible outcome, and what can I do on the next step? Who could I speak with? What study can I have? Who can I welcome to support me? And so forth. Brain activity. They're both brain activity. One of them will most likely help you accomplish what it is that you would love, even if you don't know how at the moment. The other one, probably not so much, and it's probably terrorize yourself, and you're going to go backtracking or just giving you at the very least heart palpitation. And so, what if one of the answer to if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen is actually right inside of you. It's not out there. It's not something esoteric, but it is a matter of knowing that you and I actually use our brain a lot of the time, the most portions of our brain. But perhaps you can choose to direct your brain activity such as its productive brain activity. And then the other part of the answer could be, another part of the answer could be the first questions that I have today. What do you think? And many people has theorized this. What do you think? You perhaps had different idea, but many people has theorized that one of the reasons people can have this superhuman ability, so to say, particularly in the example of a mother being able to move super heavy object or something in to protect her child, to save her child, is because of love. Because of love, and the love give us almost like this superpower ability. And why do you think is that? Why do you think when we have so much love rushing in our in us, which if you are listening to what calling your heart, you are also tapping into love. You are also tuning into love, by the way. And when you have so much love, then love can move things. And why is that? Perhaps the answer is in the vibrational chart that from time to time I share with you. This is the vibrational chart from Dr. David Hawkins here. And Dr. David Hawkins says that everything in this universe vibrate. And so you are vibrating, I'm vibrating, the chair, the wall, everything vibrates at different frequency. Now, if you look at this in these vibrational charts, there are things that vibrate down here, and then there are things that vibrate up here. And the universe vibrate at this level here, up here. Now, where do you see desire? Desire is down here. Desire is down here. Actually, interesting, isn't it? That desire is next to fear. Just come from your mind, okay, well, I want this, or I'm supposed to do this, or I need to do this. Sometimes maybe even has a little bit of guilt mixed that. Okay, you know what, I should not be unrealistic, so that kind of make me feel bad. So desire mixed with guilt, it's down here actually. While the universe vibrate up here. And where is love? Love is up here. And so imagine Perhaps that could be one of the reasons why when you actually listening to your heart, and our heart exudes love. When you really tuning into your heart exudes love. So you are vibrating in the vibrations of love, not just desire. And when you are vibrating in the vibration of love, that's when you're vibrating with the universe, so to say. And when you are vibrating with the universe, then naturally things will flow just easier. Imagine if you learn to direct your mind such that you have productive brain activity, and then you put that mix the whole equations together with love. Would you think that perhaps even if you don't know how, it's still gonna happen? Have you ever heard something about something happen out of the blue, kind of like things just happen out of the blue? What do you think the blue is beside my blue shirt? And so the blue is perhaps something that's already here. It's vibrating out right here, right around you, and it's a matter of you actually matching to that vibrations that will allow you to, as Kenny Loggins says, if you listens to your heart, if you listens to your heart in that tug of war, you lean to the heart and you allow love, and then you allow your mind to be productively active, then maybe that will facilitate you such that whatever it is that you would love to happen will happen, even if at this moment you don't know how. And so please share in the comment below if you ever have such an experience where you actually don't know how, and you would love something, you have no idea how, and you said, you know what, my logic saying this, and perhaps and everybody around you saying whatsoever, and then you follow your heart, and actually it allows you, it gives you such an amazing, wonderful result. But please share in the comment below if you ever actually consciously practice one of or both of what we share today, the directing your thoughts and your mind in such a way that even though you didn't know how, it brings into you what it is that you love, and putting that, mixing that it with love, and receiving, welcoming and receiving a result that is beyond your greatest expectations. Please share in the comment below if you ever have such an experience. Please share your feedback in the comment below. Please share if you have any thought or insight, other thoughts or insight toward this. I would love to hear them as well. Feel welcome to share this video with anyone that you love. And this is Bridget with From Grieving to Joyful Living. I love you very, very much, and I see that as you allow yourself to listen to what your heart called you, to tap into the vibration of love, not just desire and logic, to tap into love, and at the same time, learning and fine tuning. Even if you already learn to do that, we can most of us have the ability to fine tune our mental activity, our brain activity, to make it productive brain activity, and to fine tune that. And as you do that, you create an amazing, magnificent result beyond your expectations, and allow you to be more at ease, more joyful, feel more peaceful, and creating a beautiful, thriving life one day at a time, and a magnificent, beautiful, thriving life and as a whole. And I love you very, very much, and I see you again very, very soon, living your beautiful, thriving